Tizara walked through the long halls of the imperial palace. Her four legs clicked on the marble floor. As the new imperial historian, she had many duties. Today was different. Today she would meet the most feared beings in the galaxy. The Human Guard. Every child in the Imperium knew the stories. Humans were monsters from a death world. They could not be killed, they felt no pain. When they got angry, they became wild beasts. They had fought wars for thousands of years before joining the Imperium. Now they served Emperor Valthan as his personal guards. Tizara stopped at a large door. Two regular guards stood there. They were tall beings from the Zentari race. Both looked nervous. "The Human Guard is inside," one guard said. His voice shook a little. "Are you sure you want to go in?" Tizara nodded. She was scared too, but she had a job to do. The Emperor wanted her to write the official history of this Human Guard. She needed to interview them and learn their stories. The door opened. Tizara walked into a simple room. Four humans sat around a table. They looked normal, not like the monsters from the stories. The first human stood up. He was tall with dark hair and kind eyes. "I am Daeho Kim," he said. "Captain of the Human Guard. You must be Tizara." His voice was calm and polite, not scary at all. "Yes," Tizara said. "Thank you for meeting with me." The other humans stood up too. A woman with short hair smiled at her. "I am Hyjin Park. I handle communications." A big man with strong arms nodded. "Wu Bin Li. I work with heavy weapons." The last human was a woman in white clothes. "So Young Han. I am the medical officer." Tizara sat down at the table. She took out her recording device. "I want to learn about you, the real story, not just the legends." Daeho smiled. "What do you want to know? How did you become guards? Were you warriors on your home planet?" The humans looked at each other. Then they laughed, not mean laughter, happy laughter. "I was a teacher," Daeho said. "I taught history to children." Tizara's eyes went wide. "A teacher?" "Yes, I taught about different cultures and how to solve problems without fighting." Hyjin spoke next. "I worked with computers. I helped people from different planets talk to each other." Wu Bin pointed to his big arms. "I built things, bridges, houses, schools. I never fought in any wars." So Young nodded. "I was a doctor. I helped sick people get better." Tizara could not believe it. "But the stories say humans are born warriors. That your planet is full of endless wars." Daeho's face became serious. "Earth had wars, yes, but most humans never fought in them. We had teachers, doctors, builders, artists, just like any other world." "Then why does everyone fear you?" The humans were quiet for a moment. Then Hyjin spoke. "Can I show you something?" She took out a small device. Pictures appeared in the air above the table. They showed humans doing different things. Some were helping injured aliens. Others were building shelters after disasters. Many pictures showed humans working together with other species. "This is what we really do," Hyjin said. "We protect people, all people, not just the Emperor." Wu Bin leaned forward. "The fear started by accident. In our first mission, we refused to leave when things got dangerous. Other species would have retreated. We stayed to help civilians escape. We lost 3 friends that day," So Young said quietly. "But we saved 2,000 aliens." The story grew with each telling. Soon we became monsters who could not be stopped. Tizara wrote notes as fast as she could. "But you do fight." "You are guards. We defend," Daeho said. "There is a difference. We only use force to protect innocent people." "What about your famous rage, the Berserker Fury?" The humans looked confused. "What rage?" Wu Bin asked. "The stories say humans become wild animals when angry." "That you lose all control." So Young shook her head. "That is not true. When we fight, we think very carefully. Every action has a purpose." Daeho nodded. "Human soldiers are trained to stay calm under pressure. Anger makes you stupid. Stupid gets people killed." Tizara spent the next 3 hours with them. She learned about their daily life. They woke up early and exercised together. They ate meals together and shared stories from their different cultures on Earth. They studied languages to talk with other species. They practiced medicine to help injured people. They were not monsters. They were just people doing a hard job. "Why do you serve the Emperor?" Tazara asked. The humans looked at each other again. Hyjin spoke first. "We do not really serve the Emperor as a person. We serve what the Imperium is supposed to represent. Peace between species," Wu Bin said. "Protection for the weak," So Young added. "Justice for all beings." Daeho finished. As the meeting ended, Tazara felt confused. Everything she thought she knew was wrong. These humans were not the scary monsters from the stories. They were teachers and doctors and builders who had chosen to protect others. "One more question," she said. "What makes you different from other species? Why are you the guards?" Daeho thought for a moment. "Maybe it is because we do not give up. When something matters to us, we keep going no matter how hard it gets. And we stick together," Hyjin said. "Humans form strong bonds. We will die before we abandon each other." "That sounds nice," Tazara said, "but every species says that." So Young smiled sadly. "Most species say it, humans mean it." As Tazara left the room, her mind was full of new thoughts. The legend of the human guard was built on fear and misunderstanding. But the reality might be even more powerful than the myth. These were not monsters. They were something much more dangerous to enemies of peace. They were people who truly cared about doing the right thing, and they would never stop trying. Outside the room, the Zentari guards looked at her with worried faces. "How did it go?" one asked. "Did they threaten you?" Tazara looked back at the closed door. Inside, she could hear the humans laughing together as they shared lunch. "No," she said, "they offered me tea." The guards looked very confused as she walked away. Tazara had a lot of work to do. The real story of the human guard needed to be told, but she wondered if anyone would believe the truth was more amazing than the legend. 3 weeks after her first meeting, Tazara returned to interview more human guards. She had learned so much already. The humans were not monsters. They were ordinary people doing an extraordinary job. She walked into the same room where she had met Daeho and his team. 4 new humans waited for her. They looked relaxed and friendly. "Hello," said a young man with glasses. "I am Jinwoo Choi. I joined the guard 6 months ago," a woman with gray hair smiled. "Mira-song, I have been a guard for 8 years. The third human was reading a book. He looked up and nodded. "Taemin Yang, I help the other guards with their problems." The last woman had many small scars on her hands. "Yunji Lim, I gather information and talk to other species." Tazara sat down and started her recorder. "Jinwoo, what did you do before becoming a guard?" "I was an archaeologist," he said. "I studied old civilizations and how they lived." "That seems very different from being a guard," Jinwoo laughed. "Not really. Understanding the past helps me understand people today. When I know why someone acts a certain way, I can help them better." Before Tazara could ask another question, loud alarms started ringing. Red lights flashed on the walls. A voice spoke over the communication system. "All units to emergency positions. The palace is under attack. This is not a drill." The humans moved fast but stayed calm. Mira touched a device on her wrist. "Command, this is Human Guard Team 2. What is the situation?" A panicked voice answered. "Hegemony forces have broken through the outer defenses. They are moving toward the throne room. All civilians must evacuate immediately." Tazara felt scared. The Hegemony was a group of planets that wanted to destroy the Imperium. They had finally attacked the heart of the Empire. "Stay close to US," Mira told Tazara. "We will keep you safe." The humans put on their equipment quickly. But Tazara noticed something strange. They were not putting on heavy armor or grabbing huge weapons. Instead, they took communication devices, medical supplies, and tools for helping people. "Should we not get bigger weapons?" Tazara asked. Tae-min shook his head. "Our job is to protect people, not destroy enemies. Big weapons make that harder." They left the room and moved through the palace halls. Other species were running around in panic. Soldiers were shouting orders. But the humans walked with purpose and stayed calm. Jin-Wu stopped near a group of scared civilian workers. "The east exit is blocked," he told them. "Follow the green lights to the south exit. Stay together and help each other." The workers looked surprised. A human was helping them instead of ignoring them. As they walked, Unji spoke into her communication device. She was not speaking the common imperial language. She spoke in the languages of different species throughout the palace. "Attention Zentari workers in Section 5. The maintenance tunnels are safe for evacuation. Catherian families near the gardens. Emergency shuttles are waiting at landing. Pad 3, Vorthan security teams. Human guards are coordinating with you. Do not treat us as enemies." Tizara realized something important. Unji knew how to speak to everyone in their own language. She understood what each species needed to hear. They reached a damaged area where the attackers had broken through. Smoke filled the air. Several guards from other species were wounded and lying on the ground. So Young appeared from another hallway. She immediately went to help the wounded guards. "Taemin, I need your help. This Centauri has internal bleeding." Taemin put down his weapon and helped carry the wounded guard to safety. "Jinwoo, clear a path to the medical bay." Jinwoo used his archaeological knowledge to read the old palace maps on the walls. "This way. There's an old servant passage that leads directly there." Tizara watched in amazement. The humans were not fighting the attackers. They were saving lives and organizing the defense at the same time. Coordinated with the palace security forces. "Set up defensive positions. Here and here," she told the Vorthan captain. "But leave escape routes open for any civilians still trapped inside." "What if the attackers use those same routes?" the captain asked. "Then we stop them there." "But we do not trap innocent people to make our job easier." The battle continued for several hours. Tizara stayed close to the humans and watched everything. They did. She expected to see the legendary human rage, the berserker fury that made them so feared. Instead, she saw something different. The humans worked together like parts of a single machine. When one human found a problem, another human already had a solution. When someone got tired, another took their place. When they faced difficult choices, they always chose to protect the innocent. During the worst part of the battle, attackers broke through near the throne room. Emperor Valthan was in danger. The humans moved to protect him, but not the way Tizara expected. Instead of charging at the enemies, Daeho and his team appeared from 3 different directions. They used the palace's own security systems against the attackers. Smoke filled the hallways. Lights went out. Emergency barriers dropped into place. The attackers found themselves separated and confused. They could not see where they were or where their enemies were. But the humans knew every part of the palace. They had studied it for years one by one. The attackers surrendered. They were not killed or hurt badly. They were just captured and taken away. When it was over, Tizara looked around. The palace was damaged but still standing. Many people had been evacuated safely. The wounded were being treated. The emperor was safe. "How did you do that?" she asked Daeho. He looked tired but satisfied. "We planned for this day. We studied the palace, learned about all the species who live and work here, and prepared for different kinds of attacks." "But you are only 12 people. How can 12 people defend an entire palace?" Hyjin appeared, carrying a wounded attacker to the medical bay. "We do not defend the palace alone. We help everyone else defend it together." Tizara finally understood. The human guard was not feared because they were unbeatable warriors. They were feared because they made everyone around them braver and more capable. When other species saw humans refused to give up, they found the courage to keep fighting too. When they saw humans risk their lives to save strangers, they wanted to be heroes as well. The legends were wrong about everything except one thing. The human guard was dangerous, but not to innocent people. They were dangerous to anyone who wanted to harm others, because they would never stop protecting what was right. As the emergency ended and normal life returned to the palace, Tizara realized her research had changed. She was no longer just writing about the human guard. She was learning what it truly meant to be human. And that was more frightening to the Imperium's enemies than any legend could ever be. 2 months had passed since the attack on the palace. Tisara sat in her office, looking at all the information she had gathered. Her research was complete. She knew the truth about the human guard. They were not monsters. They were teachers. Doctors, builders, and artists who had chosen to protect others. They were feared across the galaxy, but the fear was based on lies and misunderstanding. Now she had to decide what to do with the truth. Her door chimed. "Come in," she called. Human walked into her office. He was older than the others she had met, with white hair and kind eyes. "I am Hyan-Su Kang," he said. "I used to be a human guard. Now I train new guards." "Please sit down," Tisara said. "What can I do for you?" Hyan-Su looked serious. "I heard about your research. Some people in the government are worried about what you might write." "Why?" "The fear of humans keeps our enemies away. If people learn we are just normal beings trying to help others, they might not be scared anymore." Tisara had wondered about this. "Do you think fear is better than understanding?" Hyan-Su was quiet for a moment. "I have been thinking about that for a long time. Fear works, but it does not last. Understanding builds real peace." Before they could talk more, Tisara's communication device rang. It was the Emperor's assistant. "The Emperor wants to see you immediately," the voice said. "Bring all your research." Tisara felt nervous. She gathered her files and walked with Hyan-Su to the throne room. When they arrived, she saw many important people there. Government officials, military leaders, and diplomats from other species. Emperor Valthan sat on his throne. He looked tired but alert. "Tisara, I understand you have completed your research on the human guard." "Yes, Your Majesty." "Good, we may need it today." The Emperor gestured to a group of beings she did not recognize. "These are diplomats from the hegemony. They have come to discuss peace." Tisara was surprised. The same people who had attacked the palace now wanted to talk about peace? A tall hegemony diplomat stepped forward. "We are willing to end this war," he said. "But we have conditions." "What conditions?" the Emperor asked. "You must disband the human guard. They are too dangerous to exist. As long as they serve you, there can be no peace between us." The throne room became very quiet. Everyone looked at the 12 humans standing near the Emperor's throne. Daeho, Haijin, Wubin, So-young, and the others stood calmly. They showed no anger or fear. "The human guard protects all citizens of the Imperium," the Emperor said. "I will not abandon them." "Then you choose war over peace," the diplomat replied. "Wait," Tisara said. She stepped forward before she could change her mind. "May I speak?" The Emperor nodded. "You may." Tisara activated her recording device. Images appeared in the air above the throne room. They showed the humans she had interviewed and studied. "You fear the human guard because you believe they are monsters," she said to the hegemony diplomats. "But you are wrong about what makes them dangerous." She showed pictures of Daeho teaching children. "This is Captain Daeho Kim. He was a teacher. Before becoming a guard, he has never killed anyone in battle. His weapon is knowledge and patience." More pictures appeared. Hai Jin helping aliens communicate. Wu Bin building shelters for refugees. So-young treating wounded enemies. These are not the monsters from your stories. They are people who chose to protect others even at the cost of their own lives. The hegemony diplomat looked confused. "But we have seen what they can do. They are unstoppable in battle." "Yes," Tisara agreed. "But not because they are cruel or violent. They are unstoppable because they will never give up on doing what is right." She showed images from the palace attack. The humans coordinating evacuations, treating wounded enemies, and working with other species to minimize damage. During your attack, the human guard could have killed many of your soldiers. Instead, they focused on saving lives, even your lives. One of the younger hegemony diplomats spoke up. "But our intelligence reports say they are savage warriors from a death world." Niang Yu stepped forward from the group of humans. She was a small woman with a gentle voice. "I study how different species understand each other," she said. May I explain something? The Emperor nodded. Earth is not a death world, Young said. It is beautiful and full of life. Yes, humans have fought wars, but so have most species. What makes humans different is not that we love fighting, it is that we hate giving up. She gestured to her fellow guards. When we see someone in danger, we cannot walk away. When we make a promise, we keep it no matter what happens. When we care about something, we will sacrifice everything to protect it. Donghai Shin, a human engineer, spoke next. I design tools that stop fights without hurting people. Most of our equipment is made to protect and help, not to destroy. The Jin Beak, who worked with alien diplomats, added, We have friends in every species in the Imperium. We eat together, learn from each other, and share our cultures. We are not separate from the galaxy, we are part of it. The hegemony diplomats talked quietly among themselves. Finally, their leader spoke again. If this is true, why do so many people fear you? Daeho answered, Because misunderstanding grows faster than truth. When people are scared, they believe scary stories more easily than simple facts. And, added Taemin Yang, because some people find it useful when others are afraid of us. Fear can be a tool, but it is not a good foundation for peace. The Emperor stood up from his throne. Tassara, what do you recommend? She took a deep breath. I recommend we publish the truth. All of it. Let every species in the galaxy know what the human guard really is. Not monsters to be feared, but protectors to be respected. And if our enemies are no longer afraid of us? Asked a military advisor. Mira Song smiled. Then maybe they will. Try to understand us instead. Understanding leads to cooperation. Cooperation leads to peace. The hegemony diplomat thought for a long time. If we agreed to peace, will the human guard train our security forces in their methods? Of course, said Yinji Lim. We want to share what we know. The more people who can protect others, the safer everyone becomes. 3 hours later, the peace agreement was signed. The war between the Imperium and the hegemony was over. Not because one side defeated the other, but because both sides chose to understand instead of fear. That evening, Tassara published her complete research. The real story of the human guard spread across the galaxy within days. Some people were disappointed to learn their heroes were not mythical warriors. But most people were inspired to learn they were something better, ordinary beings who had chosen to do extraordinary things. The fear of humans began to fade. In its place grew something stronger, respect, admiration, and hope that anyone could choose to be a protector of others. Tassara kept one final recording from her research. It was Hyansu speaking to new human recruits. People will always tell stories about us. Some stories will make us sound like monsters. Others will make us sound like saints. Both kinds of stories are wrong. We are just people who decided that some things are worth protecting. That is all we have ever been. That is all we ever need to be. The legend of the human guard was over. The reality was just beginning.